We're going to go to former Senior Vice Chair of Citigroup, Bill Rhodes, on this. Bill, we're waiting to hear from the Federal Reserve. Of course, many Federal Reserve board members who are going to weigh whether to hike rates again today echo the sentiment of Jerome Powell that this debt we've got building and the inability of Congress on both the Republican and Democratic front to do anything about it does concern them, and they're making it more difficult, if you think about it, by hiking rates and the cost of that debt more prohibitive. How do you see this all going?
Well, I think, first of all, and I predicted this at the beginning of the year, we're going to see a rate increase today. You might have a pause at the beginning of the year, but I think we're going to see one or two next year because the Fed needs ammunition in the sense of what they would do in case we run into a recession the end of next year or the beginning of the following year. There's a lot of pressure on Powell and the rest of the board, not to raise rates, but I think that they're going to be data-driven, and we'll get a little better idea when he gives his press conference. But remember, we've had 10 years of the major central banks of the world, starting with the Fed, putting trillions of dollars of stimulus into the markets, both in the sense of dropping interest rates and in quantitative easing. And they're starting to reel that back, and that's going to affect the economy. And we're very lucky here in the United States with the growth we have. And I just heard the end of Paul Ryan, and I give him a lot of credit for what he did on tax reform. I think he's a great American. I think that he did a good job considering all the odds against him as Speaker, and I think one of these days we're going to see him back again.
Yeah, he was talking about the tax cut that he helped shepherd through the House, and that was tough, because just among fellow Republicans, not a single Democrat voted for it. But he did say, again, paraphrasing here, that we don't have a problem getting money into Washington. We have a problem, all the money that comes out of Washington, and then some that dwarfs it. And I'm wondering whether that is lost in Washington today. Does that worry you?
I think we are building up the deficits, and I think it's something we've got to be concerned about. That is one of the reasons why the Fed, I think, will continue to raise rates until they see that the economy is being affected here. Because remember, we also have to look at the rest of the world. Europe is slowing down big time. I just got off an airplane from Beijing, and the Chinese economy is slowing down. I was with the head of the central bank over there, and we were discussing this. And they're pushing a lot of money there to keep the economy moving. But we have this trade issue on the table. The Chinese want a deal. There's no doubt in my mind. I spoke with some of the most senior people in the government in China. They want a deal. The question is how long it's going to take. The real problem we have with China long term is intellectual property.
Yeah, I hear you. Bill Rhodes, thank you very, very much.